Kids, safe schools. Zero tolerance. Guns and drugs off the street. If you commit a violent crime in Lee County, we will put you behind bars at the Marceno Motel. It's that simple.
Well, welcome in to another episode of Midweek with Marceno. I'm Julie Martin, and as always, joined by Sheriff Marceno. It's nice to have you back in here.
Great to be back. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. Well, we have a very important and special case to talk about with our viewers in Lee County today. This goes all the way back to 2021 when we had a suspect barricaded in the McDonald's, and he was just sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Remember it well. I was on scene.
It's a very scary situation for our community, and we have some exclusive video from outside of the McDonald's and inside of the McDonald's of him shooting at deputies and the takedown. So we're going to go through all those videos one by one. We're going to start from the beginning of when we received this call, Sheriff. Our aviation up in the sky. We were called for this man. He was on Palm Beach or near Palm Beach Blvd walking around with a gun.
I mean, it's frightening. Frightening to see in a neighborhood, someone walking around with a gun, obviously not caring about human life.
I think what's important to note for this also is we had deputies, and we even worked with the Fort Myers police this day. They were blocking off roads and making sure that pedestrians weren't going back and forth. But I think it's important to note that in a situation like this, it's hard to take someone down in a residential area when you have so many people around you.
It's so difficult. I mean, thankful that our brothers and sisters of Fort Myers came together. We worked as one cohesive team. I remember this call very, very well. It was disturbing. He barricaded himself. People were inside there working. Even tried to burn the restaurant down at one point in time. So very disturbing.
Right, so now we're seeing in the video he's making his way into the McDonald's, and that's where our next scene takes place. Now we're inside of the McDonald's. He's pointed the gun at deputies before, and now he's in the McDonald's. He's making his way out. We attempt to shoot him with a less lethal round to try and get him to comply. He walks back in, and this is where he pulls out that gun again and starts shooting at deputies out the door.
Oh, it's clear. Here he is. The gun's out in the video. Here he's shooting at the deputies outside. No regard for human life. Has nothing to lose at this point. He's all in. I remember the SWAT team getting around. We contained the scene. Obviously, the neighborhood was packed. There were people all over the place. So thankfully, nobody else was injured. And I remember that we used less than lethal. We gassed him. We used less than lethal, and he ended up coming out, thank God. But you can see in the video, he has no regard for human life at all. He's willing to go the distance. He's shooting at law enforcement, uniform patrol. He doesn't care about anything. A
very scary situation, and there were patrons, you saw at the beginning of the video, patrons in the McDonald's when he just started on this rampage.
I mean, you think about it, here we are, he's shooting in the McDonald's. There are people, there are people inside that restaurant trying to eat. And then all of a sudden, everything erupts. But we have to be ready for this. This is our line of work. This is our business. We train for this. We train to de-escalate. And in this case, his life is saved when he had no regard for anyone else's.
Now let's go inside of the McDonald's. This is fast forwarding a little bit. After a lot of people were cleared out of there and our SOU team was there, like you said, he tried to light this place on fire as well, going back and forth from the bathrooms, lighting things in the bathrooms on fire.
Here he is, contained in the bathroom. Obviously, he's lighting it up. He's trying to, start a fire, and he's willing to burn the place down, whatever it takes in his mind to get out of this scenario. And this is a reminder of law enforcement when they say goodbye to their family members, husbands, wives, daughters, sons, whoever it may be, and they go to work and put that uniform on. You never know what you're getting into, and you pray that they come home safely.
Inside of the restaurant, we used all of our resources necessary. We had our bomb squad out there. We had our drone pilots who actually flew a drone inside of the McDonald's to get that point of view. But let's go forward just a little bit more to when our SOU team really made that entrance. So we'll take a look at the video. It's happening in real time. We throw that gas in there as a distraction. You could see the SOU team coming from the side. And then this is really where the takedown happens.
SOU is moving in, special ops, and ready for the takedown. And still, he doesn't want to give up. So we have to use less than lethal, the beanbags, to get him into custody. This turned out to be, thankfully, a peaceful resolution, but this could have been tragic. Shooting a firearm at McDonald's, there are patrons in there, citizens just trying to eat, shooting at law enforcement, a big win for us in Lee County, and most importantly, getting him off the streets now for 30 years. That's the real win.
Again, you can just see all the gas that accumulated inside of the restaurant. Let's take a look outside of the restaurant when that takedown happened. You can see that gas billowing out and our SOU members taking him out of the restaurant. Sheriff, when you look back at this almost 2 years later, what do you think was learned in a situation like this where, you know, we take and we bring this home at the end of the day?
There's a lot to be learned. Anytime we have an incident, we sit back, we critique it, we think, what could we do? Could we do things differently? Could we do them better? We're always looking to do better, but this team is amazing. We train like you've never seen. We train for the worst, we're prepared for the worst, and we move forward. Thankfully, again, this team moves in, peacefully resolves this. It was frightening. I remember being on the side, just saying to myself, I just want this to resolve peacefully because the last thing we want is gunfire in a residential neighborhood.
So Alacius has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. Sheriff, this is video that our community has never seen before, and this is something a lot of people don't see on a daily basis. I'm sure frightening for some of our viewers. I mean, what do you have to say to them after this?
To the viewers and to the citizens of Lee County, number one, your safety and security is primary. It's number one. It's our top priority. And we have law and order here. We're not going to tolerate this behavior. I want families to live with safety and security. Our citizens are going to be safe. We train, and thank you for putting that faith and trust in us and in me as a sheriff. This video, when you look at it, it just shows you that constant reminder of how bad things can get so quickly. But know that we are ready for anything that comes our way, and you will be safe in this county.
Great. Well, again, this is also just something that we show as transparency to our department, also just showing everyone exactly what they dealt with that day. And again, our men and women go out and do this every single day. They never know when they're going to come in contact with something like this.
And it gives people a bird's eye view of what we see. Transparency is so important. We have to be transparent. We have to do the job the right way and make certain that the citizens understand what we're faced with. Listen, there's no I in team, and they support us. There's no better place in the world to work but our county. Our county wants law enforcement. They support us. They want what's right. That 0.1%, they can leave. I don't want them here. They're not going to cause havoc for the great residents of this county. It's either the Marceno Motel or they can leave our county, one or the other.
Well, Sheriff, we appreciate you taking some time and sitting down and talking about this very important topic today.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for watching this week's episode of Midweek with Marceno. We'll see you on Friday for Live with LCSO.